Hi there, I'm Denise Richardson, and this is Howdini.com. Are you thinking about quitting your job? Don't do it before you listen to Maggie Mistel, who is our life purpose and career coach and who can be heard on Martha Stewart Living Radio on Sirius. Big deal to quit a job.
Yes, to walk away. And for some people, it takes a lot of straws before you break the camel's back and they actually walk away. But for others, it can be really freeing. It really depends on your situation.
So how do you make the decision? Are there rules to make that decision?
I like to think that there's guidelines and things that you can think about. Because for each one of us, our career is an individual decision. And one of the biggest pieces of information that people use are finances. How am I financially? If I was fed up and I were to walk out tomorrow, could I pay my bills for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months? So knowing where your finances stand is a great way to give you some freedom. Secondly, you want to know if you're in an industry where there are lots of opportunities, and if you feel as if you're the type of person who has marketable skills. And one great way to do this is to network. If you're out at an association meeting or you're out with people who are in your industry but from other companies, you can get a sense for, hey, wait a minute, I'm pretty marketable here. I have lots of opportunity. So if that's the case, if you feel pretty confident that, I'm pretty good at what I do and there's lots of opportunity, it can be easier to walk away from a job you don't like, even if you don't have one lined up already.
Well, Maggie, people do say that when you're looking for a job, you should stay in the job and should have the job.
Well,
it gives you leverage.
Right. Well, because think about it this way. If you're not in a job, automatically you're damaged goods. That's the assumption. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And you're fighting that assumption in an interview. It doesn't mean you can't overcome it, but that's the assumption. In the interview, you can overcome that and say, you know what, I really had a difficult situation. They weren't appreciating the work I was doing. And although I was developing skills, it got to the point where I was really spinning my wheels. And I felt it more important in my career at that point to take some time for myself than to continue to stay in an environment that was negative and bringing me down.
It's interesting. One of the signs, and I think about this, if you're sleeping a little later, if you're not motivated and you don't have that energy to get up and go.
Sunday night. How do you feel on Sunday night?
Oh.
Right? Do you get that pit in your stomach? Like, oh, can't believe I have to go to work tomorrow. And, oh, God, I have to face that client, or I have to face that boss, or I have to face that coworker. If you start to dread, and I use that word deliberately, dread going to work, that's a pretty big sign that your time is limited in that job. Because the other piece of this, right, if you're staying in a job you don't like, don't think you're hiding it very well. If you're unhappy at work and you're dragging yourself in, most likely your boss knows it and your coworkers know it, and they're either waiting for you to leave anyway, or if they do have to lay somebody off, you'll be someone they're thinking about.
How do you look for a job when you're in a job?
I really focus on being a professional, and I don't think it's right to take advantage of your current employer to be job searching online with company equipment, to be even making phone calls on the company phone. I'm not a fan. We all have cell phones these days. If you need to call a recruiter or a hiring manager or someone else or whatever you need to do, you know what? Do it on your lunch break. Do it on your cell phone. Don't take advantage of the company's resources for your own personal use.
If you happen to be, let's say, in the advertising industry and you lose 2 major accounts, then you might know that your job might be ended.
Yes.
You might be laid off.
Right.
What are some other signs that you may be terminated, and how would you go about finding that out if it's not the advertising industry?
Right. Most employees are not up to date on the financial news of their company. They don't know anything. They haven't read the annual report. They're not following any types of earnings calls. If you work for a public company, there's a lot of information available that you can get free on the internet or even through your own company's website about not only where the company's been, but where they're going.
There's this expression, and you've used it because I've looked at your website, jack of all trades, master of none. Do you have to be master of one thing?
No. That's the most exciting thing I could say to the people out there who are saying, oh my God, I'm a jack of all trades and master of none. Really, more and more, because of the way our economies are global, right? There's globalization. People are changing careers upwards of 7, 8, or 9 times in their lifetimes. We have become this worker who needs to be adaptable. The employee of the future and of the current world even needs to be adaptable, needs to be able to learn and grow and do new things and show different talents and skills. So I tell the people who have all these different interests, you know what, you're the perfect type of employee that's needed.
Bottom line, don't be afraid about making a change.
Absolutely not. Instead, focus on what you really want the change to be. What's that ideal career I'd love to have? Then think about how to get from where you are now to where you want to be. It's really just a matter of planning and getting yourself onto the right path. every day you spend in a job you hate is a day you're not getting onto the path that you really love. And it's really wasted time because you're investing in a career you don't want to stay in. So I can't say it enough that it's really important to dream and to think about the ideal and then plan it out and ways to get there.
Dream dreams, but don't make dreaming the object. Maggie Mistel, thank you very much
Thanks, Denise.
for being with us.